Hey everyone, welcome back to another review. Today we're going to take a look at this little Kaiyodo Deinocheirus. I have a very small Kaiyodo collection and I do enjoy their figures. So every once in a while I'll go on eBay and just order one that appeals to me. And this little Deinocheirus right here stuck right out to me. This figure is part of a set of 5. It was a box set available at a Dinosaur Expo in Japan. Well, at least that's what the eBay listing said where this figure came from. So when you get this figure in, it comes in a couple of parts. The figure comes unattached from the base, and the tail is separate. So all you have to do is just pop the tail in and just line up these pegs on the base. And the little Deinocheirus model is complete. You also get a little pamphlet with it that shows you the other figures in this set. You get this is the Kaiyosaurus, which is a Japanese hadrosaur. You get the T-Rex, the Mosasaurus, and the Deinonychus skeleton. The only other one I probably would pick up from this set is this Kaiyosaurus because I think that is the only Kaiyosaurus figure in existence right now, and I love picking up obscure dinosaurs. Deinocheirus is a very bizarre dinosaur. It was only a few years ago that enough material was discovered that actually got a good picture of just how weird this animal was. When it was first discovered, the only parts of this animal that were known were these huge 8-foot long arms that were discovered, I think, in 1965. And then 50 years went by with no other specimens being discovered. So we knew it was a very large ornithomimid, but we had no idea what it really looked like. And then I think it was around 2014 or 2015, 2 specimens were discovered in Mongolia, and a lot more material was found. But the terrible part was those 2 specimens were poached. The skull and some claws and some other bones were stolen from the site, but later on down the road, those parts were found, and we actually got an idea what this animal looked like, and it was such a bizarre animal. It has this duck-billed head. It has this large sail hump on its back. It really doesn't look like any other ornithomimid. They're usually depicted as very swift and fast, and this is a very large and bulky animal. So let's do a couple quick measurements before we take a closer look at this figure. This figure is just about 3.5 inches long from the tip of the beak to the tip of the tail, and about 2.5 inches tall. From the base, this figure is about 1 3/4 inches tall. So this is a very small figure. Deinocheirus in real life was about 36 to 39 feet long. So that'll put this figure somewhere in the 1/125 scale to the 1/133 scale range. So let's pull this figure in and take a closer look at the finer details. Starting with that base, it is just a standard rocky base. It's just cast all in gray plastic, but you can see a lot of nice molded detail in there with the rocks. And then on the side of the base, you have the name of the animal in Japanese and in English, Deinocheirus mirificus. And then going up to the figure itself, for such a small figure, it does have a lot of nice detail. I absolutely love the color scheme on this. For those of you that have watched the documentary Amazing Dino World, I think the only place you can watch it besides clips on YouTube is if you have Curiosity Stream, which I have. I absolutely love that streaming service for $2.99 a month. I can just binge documentaries all day. So this is based off the Amazing Dino World Deinocheirus. It is very flamingo-like in color. It's just different hues of pink throughout the body. The head has a very light purple on it with some red on top. And then looking at the face, you can see the beak is done in gray and the eyes are done in black. It's very tough to focus on. This small model is surrounded by green paint with a black pupil. So a lot of nice detail for such a tiny, tiny figure. And then going down to the body, you can see all the feathers are sculpted in really nice. The back hump or sail is really sculpted in well. If you watch that documentary, the main Deinocheirus had a chunk bitten out of this by a Tarbosaurus. And then going down to the hands, you can see you have some white paint over here along the feathers, with the longer primary feathers along the arms painted in a brighter red. And then the hands go into a more purplish color. The claws are painted in black, and underneath the figure it is painted in an off-white color. And going down to the legs, you can see more of that pink shading with all the feathers on there. The claws on the feet are painted in black, and the tail has some nice muscle detail on there. And then at the tip of the tail, you have a nice yellow and orange. Come on, focus. yellow and orange plumage at the end of the tail. So overall, this, even though this is a very tiny figure, it is very well detailed. When I was just like cruising around on eBay, this figure just immediately jumped out on me because, you know, I recently watched the documentary and I just knew I had to have this figure. All right, let's move on with some comparisons with some other Deinocheirus figures from other companies. Here is the Deluxe Collecte Deinocheirus, and here is the Safari LTD Deinocheirus. And these other two models are all fantastic representations of Deinocheirus. I actually love all three of these. I kind of like having all three of them displayed together. Kind of just looks like a little family of Deinocheirus, but I definitely love the pink coloration on this little Kaiyodo one. All right, and let's compare it to a couple other Kaiyodo figures. Here it is with their Kaiyodo T-Rex, and here it is with their Protoceratops, which I actually ended up getting in with this Deinocheirus. I specifically picked up this Protoceratops because I'm waiting for the Wild Pass Protoceratops to come in, and these two figures are roughly about the same size. I'm thinking about building a little diorama for those two figures. And lastly, here is the, let me just pop it back on its base because it always pops off it, the Kaiyodo Tarbosaurus, and these two animals actually coexisted together in the same ecosystem. And you can see this Tarbosaurus is preying on a Saurolophus, which is a dinosaur I would wish some company would make. I absolutely love hadrosaurs, and I just want a nice Saurolophus figure. Alright, so final thoughts on this figure. I do really like this Deinocheirus. Now, I end up paying just over $15 to get this. This came over from Japan. Yeah, it's a little pricey for such a small figure, but the Kaiyodo figures, you know, if you're cruising around on eBay, they usually run between like $10 and $15 for like the most common ones. Some of like the rarer exclusive ones go for a lot more than that. So I am okay paying $15 for this figure. Like I said, I absolutely love the color scheme, and it's based on a documentary that I did enjoy. Even though it's not the most scientifically accurate documentary, it was very entertaining. So yeah, so if you like Deinocheirus, I do highly suggest you track this figure down. I think it came out maybe a few months ago, and I know these, you know, convention exclusive ones usually slowly keep climbing up in price. Probably the only other one from that set I'm going to end up tracking down is the Kaiyosaurus, but that one for some reason is going for like $20 to $25, and right now I just can't convince myself to spend that on such a small figure, but I am okay paying $15 for this Deinocheirus. I'll probably be reviewing more Kaiyodo figures somewhere down the road when there's some downtime in between new releases. So that will do it for the review. As always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.